Hello everyone! Welcome back to Let's Play Great Ace Attorney. This is Vitafuser. In our last episode, we finished the episode of the Speckled Band and found out that it was mostly an accident. Yeah. So without further ado, we're going to start episode 3, The Adventure of the Runaway Room. Alrighty.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident, I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together.
That's ominous.
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure. I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
Jeez, what an office. 18th of February, the British Supreme Court, the Lord Chief Justice's office. Man. What an incredible place. No kidding. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this is quite a different impact. Wouldn't you agree? Far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. Certainly unfamiliar. I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. Yeah, we have clockworks in here. What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. Lord Chief Justice. We'd instructions to report here at this time. If circumstances were different, we were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. But Kazuma can't. No. So instead, we're here in a different capacity. As envoys to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yeah. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So we'd have to return to Japan. If we want to remain here in Great Britain, I have to take Kazuma's place as a law student selected for the study tour. Yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer, which is what I've been studying for. Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. I mean, it's not like we can just get recognized because we have spiky hair, because that's not going to be for a few generations. It's the only way we'll be able to remain here in London. I hope I'm up to scratch. Ah, good morning. Sorry to keep you wait. Sorry for keeping you. Holy. Oh. I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. Yes. It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Oh, no, don't mention it. You're never happier than when we're standing about with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I'm Mael Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. And I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Well, you say that, but we have proven that mice still terrify elephants, even in real life. Come on, Mr. Naruhodo, don't be a mouse. It's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Yes. Thank you. I'm getting serious Damon Gant vibes from this guy. Alright. Converse. London. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, oh! I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh! We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say I'm almost at a loss for words. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Oh yes, astounded is the word. Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san. And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor. Yes. There's so much excitement about the upcoming Great Britain exhibition we'll be hosting here in London. Great exhibition? Bend over. No, I mean, cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history. It will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. Pay no attention to those upstart Americans. even if you say so yourself. The sun will never set on our great empire. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times, we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Yes. Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. Mr. Kazuma Asogi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing. The news reached him before he even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news? Yes. We're here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. They tell me you Japanese are a people of protocol and courtesy, and I see it's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed. If you just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, madam? It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal. Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo, this is it then. The moment of truth. Alright. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead. Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the study tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country. And that was Mr. Asogi. At least, that is what I've been led to understand. Yes. Well, the thing is, it really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this guy. Mr. Naruhodo, I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I gonna say? If there was someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer, it's me. It's me. I can do it. Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but... No qualifications, you say, and yet you still claim to be a lawyer. Have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And I had Kazuma to help me. And I was the accused. But glossing over the details. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Beria. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training. And that much has not changed. I realize it's far too short a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asogi's journey had just begun. Coming here on this study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please! 31 seconds. Sorry. Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo, it was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first. So, yes, you say you intend to do everything Mr. Osogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Well, yes, that's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Something's up with this guy. Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely up to you. Really? So, what form will the test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. Huh? Wow, that was quick. Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an app trial about to begin later today. What, we're just gonna rush into this right now without any, preparation? No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news. Today? Straight away? If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. Excuse me. Pardon me. What could be simpler? How do I get myself into these situations? Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart? Yes, good question. I remember. It's a murder trial. Murder? Redrum? An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose. That's easy to say. But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will, of course, be sentenced to capital punishment. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? Here in Great Britain, murders are sent to the gallows, without exception. Presumably you read that much in your short C-based introduction to British law. We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life. I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable. I am the law. But you can't do that, can you? There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose. So the defendant may live or die, depending on how well I perform in court. If I lose, he'll be hanged. Hanged by the neck until dead. Ouch. Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Osogi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. Yes. He's testing my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be? What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? Got no choice. Alright then, if I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it! I can't get the words out! 15 seconds. Your decision-making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. So, it's as I suspected, is it? Sorry. You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. Wow, that was quick. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but what could I do? It's alright, I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. What are you trying to say, madam? I think what Miss Susato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable, and I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in a dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. That's actually pretty spot on. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh? Was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should be there in time. But I just said that. I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. Guilty. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. But that's awful. But that is the truth. Why does it have to be like this? Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. I'm really his only hope. So, what do you say now, madam? Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. And I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Oh. Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. Unimaginable glory awaits you. He's gone. Huh. The Old Bailey. If we're gonna do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once. Alrighty. Here we go. 18th of February, 9:45 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Oh, thank goodness we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were gonna rattle loose. You think that's fast? Wait till you see Desiree Delight. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Sherlock Holmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. Do we even have any guineas? I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were gonna die. And we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm feeling tense. That's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court of Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever's about to be sentenced. Feels like only yesterday I was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Top of the morning to you, madam. Sir? You're our defendant? What are yous doing following me here? Things are desperate, are they? Sorry? Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the east, are you? Oh ho ho! We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan is it? Right. Say no more. Wink wink, nudge nudge. So, how much do you need? No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, bare a penny to your name, and all while in a strange, faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. 1,000 guineas? Oh, jeez. Please, Miss Susato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is a shit ton of money at this point. Enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? 'Tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I've enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Ah! That hit me in the eye! Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you, no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Oh-ho-ho! Oh-ho-ho-ho-ho! Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me. Nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. Something's off about this guy. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Buster and Blazes, do you not know who I am? Me? One of London's biggest names? No, sorry. We've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park there in the center of London is another beautiful park. Sorry, a park? What? 'Tis called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did. So an entire park in central London? Oh, you must be one of those robber baron guys. A city of smiles. That's my vision for London. That's something Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its queer old people. Magnus McGilded, definitely a step up above Cory McGundle. Or Cosney McGundle. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. Ah, but now they've got gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask ya? Would you like that chronologically or alphabetically? Ha ha. Alright, don't pass out. Oh, that was him. Mr. Naruhodo. Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves, what the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students, on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do our best. What was I after saying? You daft idiot. Ooh, you idiot. I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry. I know what you're thinking. This Chancellor of a fella thinks have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well? Well... I'm getting a bad feeling from you, but... Not at all. Although it is a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean. That man would be the fault... that would be the fault of the Reaper. I'm sorry. Did you just say Reaper? Oh, are we in, I don't think we're in Shinjuku. Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Beric von Zeeks. He's the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? Wow. That escalated. When Van Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused have been damned. What? So it's reached a desperate situation where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness, Lord Beric von Zeeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way to the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel? That would be me. Oh, this time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed your face here. I'd made up your mind, so we had. Sorry. I decided I'd have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance, a student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident, I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. There is something really weird with this trial. I literally know nothing about the case, or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Mr. Naruhodo, the man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would have never allowed to happen. Counsel of the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. What, are you gonna cut my legs off? I'll be right there. It's happening then. My first trial in British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm gonna manage this. Wow. Holy cow. So this is the highest court in Great Britain. The Old Bailey. Centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different from the Supreme Court in Japan. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. Just you wait. Can I say something, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh yes, what? There we go again. Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, I can't help it. He almost looks like the modern judge. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare the court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. Counsel for the defense. You appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English? Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready, and I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Those eyes please me, Nipponese. Is that some kind of a slur? They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. A cold shiver just ran down my spine, all the way to the tips of my toes. Now, Mr. McGilded. Yes, my lord. You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner? As I've always said, my lord, it's a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if the fellow's a student from some little island off in the Far East. Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? Oh! I'd like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. McGilded. What a fine gentleman London has in him. Yeah, that he donated £5,000 to the government the other day. Mother, please, may we go and play McGilded Park? Seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded. Well, that's definitely welcome news. And he certainly has a way with words. I'm getting serious Madame Guard vibes from him, but maybe it's a false alarm. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded. The most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed? Oh, we got jury here. This is what was alluded in the first Apollo Justice game. Yes, my lord. The task is to send rotters to the gallows where they belong. I'm more than ready. At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of the rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. Hey, any criminals here would be wishing they never set eyes on me. Don't feel a chill. Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson. Mr. Naruhodo, those people are the jury. That's something we don't have in Japan yet. That's right, I've only read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. How exactly do the jurors give their verdict? I don't know, but I'm sure it'll become clear as the trial progresses. Prosecutor Van Zieks. My lord. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounced your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So, what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance of which the court should be aware? I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So the Reaper's been out of action for 5 years. Why did he choose today of all days to make a comeback? Because life hates you, Ryunosuke. Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo. As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please. Certainly, my lord. Pardon me, my lord. We are actually going to start this in proper next time.